Well, good morning. Good, beautiful Wednesday morning. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and we will be glad in it. I'm so glad that you've been able to join me for just a few minutes this morning for a verse of Scripture and to talk about what it means and how we might apply it into our lives, and also to point our faces toward a Bible-believing church where we can go and we can be a blessing as well as be blessed. Today we're going to be talking again out of Exodus 13. Exodus 13, we're going to be talking about verse 19. Exodus 13, verse 19. Let's read it. It says, "And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had placed the children of Israel under solemn oath, saying, God will surely visit you, and you shall carry up my bones from here with you." So in this verse, Moses is following an oath that Joseph had placed on the children of Israel 360 years earlier. 360 years earlier, when he was a ruler over Egypt. And of course, we know that Abraham had been told that his children, the children of Israel, would be mistreated and treated like an alien in a land for 400 years. And we know that that happened, that they indeed were mistreated by the Egyptians to the point of even killing their baby boys. Moses survived this, and now Moses has come forward. He's a leader, and he is leading the children of Israel, and we are still wandering toward the Red Sea at this time today. So there's a few things we want to see here. First, an oath was placed upon the children of Israel. We know that from Genesis 50. Genesis 50, and I believe it's verse 24. We know that Abraham had been told that the children would be in Egypt for 400 years. Not specifically Egypt, but a foreign land. And we know that from Genesis 15:13. So here we are with Moses, and the children of Israel have taken Joseph's bones and they are heading for the promised land. Now, something interesting here is that they are leaving Egypt 360 years after Joseph gave this oath. But they're going to wander in the desert for 40 years. So Joseph's bones are not going to arrive in the promised land until 400 years. Just like God promised. God promised that they would be in the land for 400 years. They were there for about 430, but many theologians think that about 30 of those they were well received, but then it began to turn sour, and for 400 years they were mistreated in that land. Now Moses is leading the children of Israel out. What's the point? The point is that Joseph was so certain, 360 years before it happened, was so certain that God was going to do what God had promised, that he had them swear an oath. He placed them under oath. That's what it says. And what I want you to be is, I want you to be just that certain. I want you to be just that certain. God has promised that he has a purpose for your life. Don't you lose hope in that. God has promised that he is going to never leave you nor forsake you. Don't you lose hope in that. God has made many promises, and God will keep every one of those promises. Now, was Joseph alive to see the end of the promise? Well, no. Was Abraham alive to see the promise? No. But the promise was kept because God is a God of keeping promises. And he made sure that Joseph's bones were carried forward, and that in 400 years he would arrive in the promised land just like God promised. And God has made promises over you. There is a verse in the Bible that says that He sings over us like a baby in a cradle, like an infant that we love dearly, that He sings songs over us. And that's a beautiful verse, and it's a beautiful vision. I want you to be encouraged today. God has made promises over you, and I want you to be so certain that He's going to keep those promises, that no matter what comes, you stay with your face pointed toward keeping those promises. So many of the times in this world, when something doesn't happen in a day or an hour or a week, we're just sure that God has forgotten us, and we get upset, we get stressed, we have a lot of anxiety. But God has not forgotten His promises, and we can rest in those. That's part of the peace that Jesus promises us. He says, peace I leave with you. Peace I give to you, not as the world gives. And Jesus leaves that peace with us. So if God is calling you to a great thing, if God is calling you to a great purpose, which I have no doubt He is, I would tell you to keep moving forward. Keep pressing forward. Even if you don't see the promise right away, keep pressing forward. Even if you feel like things have gone sort of off the tracks, keep pressing forward. God is going to keep that promise that He made to you. But you have to believe it, you have to trust it, and you have to continue to pursue it. I want you to be encouraged today. I love you. I know you love me. I pray for you. I know you pray for me. I pray for this nation. I pray for this world. I pray that we will turn back and realize that God has made us a promise. He's going to keep that promise. And we, for our part, need to be faithful. You have a great day today. Have a great rest of the week. And may the end of the week find you in a Bible-believing church where you can go and be a blessing as well as be blessed.